Welcome, friends. Thanks for stopping by. Happy New Year to everyone, and I hope that the year is starting off swell for you all. I came across this great article from Emily, the mid-century modern mommy, one of my faves, that I wanted to review, entitled How to Set Vintage Housewife Goals for the New Year. Before we dive in, if it's your first time here or you're returning, welcome and welcome back. Kindly like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you're notified every time we upload. Thanks a bunch, friends. Also, the link for the full article is in the description below. I'll be going over some of her points, but not the entire article. So let's get into Emily's article. The start of a new year is like opening the first page of a crisp new journal. For so many of us, it's a time to set goals and dream of ways to make the coming months more productive, beautiful, and fulfilling. Modern resolutions often focus on getting organized, losing weight, meal planning, and carving out time for self-care, and for good reason. Emily uses the timeless wisdom of a vintage housewife to achieve set goals. Why set goals like a vintage housewife? Being a vintage housewife is more than homemaking. It's a return to simple elegance, intentional living, and values that bring both order and joy to daily life. It's about creating a home that's always ready for company, cooking nourishing meals, and maintaining a sense of personal grace, all while fostering deeper connections with your family and yourself. These aren't just lofty ideals, they're practical, achievable goals that fit seamlessly with the modern desire to live with purpose and balance. The vintage housewife knew the power of structure and routine. A well-planned day meant a smooth-running home, time for meaningful connections with family, and space to maintain a sense of personal grace and beauty. It wasn't about perfection, it was about intentionality, bringing elegance and purpose into the little things, from setting a pretty table to folding laundry with care. Areas of a vintage housewife lifestyle. By focusing on some of these core areas of vintage housewife life, homemaking, cooking, family care, personal appearance, budgeting, and hospitality, these last two you can read about in the full article, by the way, you'll find a way to bring structure, beauty, and meaning into every corner of your day. 1. Homemaking and home appearance goals. Your home is the foundation of your goals. For the vintage housewife, the home wasn't just a place to eat and sleep, it was the center of family life, a sanctuary of comfort and beauty. A well-maintained home creates a sense of calm and order, which sets the tone for the rest of your day. When your home is clean, organized, and thoroughly decorated, it becomes a space where both you and your family can thrive. A tidy home isn't about achieving perfection. It's about creating an environment where life flows smoothly. When you know where things are and everything feels just so, there's less stress and more room for joy. Vintage housewives understood this, and they approached homemaking with pride and purpose, knowing that a well-run household gave their families the best possible foundation. Emily goes on to say, if you're ready to transform your home into a haven, here are some practical vintage housewife home goals to help get you started. Declutter, organize, and deep clean each area of your home. Emily does this as part of seasonal cleaning. The two methods of spring cleaning are to do it all at once seasonally or to clean one room each month. And part of that is always going through your storage and your things being used or on display to switch them out seasonally. Her best vintage method for decluttering is to move clockwise around the room from the door, systematically emptying and sorting every box, drawer, closet, top to bottom before deep cleaning. She uses vintage methods that are very similar to Marie Kondo's methods for organizing storage afterward. I absolutely love this idea. I've never heard of the clockwise movement in cleaning, so I'm going to give that a try and I will report back. And please leave a comment and let me know what your favorite tips and tricks for organizing and decluttering are. We could all use the help in sharing our ideas and learning new things, so thanks in advance. Create a daily, weekly, and monthly cleaning schedule. Emily has several of these to offer, including her regular 1940s house cleaning plan and a housekeeping schedule for 1950s working women on her website, which is listed below. You will also want some kind of seasonal cleaning routine, either a big cleaning quarterly or one area each month that covers seasonal changes, decluttering, and organizing. 2. Cooking and kitchen management goals. In the vintage housewife's world, the kitchen was a place to prepare food. It was also the heart of the home where love and care were served up with every meal. It was where the housewife focused her efforts on designing nutritious and strengthening meals that supported her children's healthy development and her husband's hard work. Here's how to bring vintage cooking practices into your modern kitchen. Perfect 2 to 3 vintage recipes using whole foods. Cook from scratch at least 5 times a week. Build a library of vintage cookbooks. I personally get my vintage 1950s recipe pages off of Pinterest. There are hundreds to choose from. Marriage and child rearing goals. Intentional family care is about creating an environment where everyone feels valued and secure. A home filled with love and order gives children the stability they need to grow into confident, capable adults and strengthens the bonds that holds families together. My husband and I are empty nesters, so you can get more tips on child rearing in the full article listed below. And here are more practical steps that Emily gives to bring vintage family values to life in your home. Put your husband first. A strong family rests on the foundation of a strong marriage. Prioritize your husband. Treat him with dignity. Avoid criticism and show gratitude. Respect breeds intimacy and trust. Let your husband lead, even in minor matters like finances or everyday decisions, to build his confidence and improve mutual understanding. Do not criticize, nag, or demean. Relinquish control and stop micromanaging your husband's actions and decisions. Here, I agree with that wholeheartedly. That gets the RM stamp of approval. 4. Personal appearance and self-care goals. What's more, vintage goals complement many of our modern ambitions. Want to prioritize self-care? Daily beauty routines and moments of mindfulness were a part of the vintage way. Looking to get organized? For the vintage housewife, looking polished and feeling your best is an act of self-respect, respect for your husband, and respect for those around you. Being slovenly was equated with bad manners and selfishness. I have to admit that I feel really undone without lipstick on. So it may not be red lipstick, but I just feel more put together when I have my lipstick on and my hair is done and I have on clean, just well-cut clothes, and I'm just dressed appropriately. So I agree with that 100%. Again, and Emily gives some practical steps to bring vintage self-care into your home life, establish a simple, elegant beauty routine, build a vintage-inspired wardrobe. I love unique vintage, Shein's Vintamore range, and Retro Stage, as well as Michelin Pit for online local vintage shops, as well vintage shops in my area that I go to. So yeah, I definitely love building a vintage inspired wardrobe, and there are so many. You can just type that into Google and look under, type Google vintage inspired clothing and hit the shopping button, and you'll just see so many vendors. So yeah, I love that that is available to us now, for sure. Prioritize health and fitness. Embrace vintage exercise routines like walking, dressing, ballet classes, or Pilates. Yes, Pilates is mid-century. Joseph Pilates invented it for ballet dancers who were injured as a way to strengthen their bodies while they were recovering from injury. I love Pilates, and there's a new Pilates studio near my home. I cannot wait to sign up for a class. Yes. Yes, Pilates is something to keep your body healthy, your figure neat, and your posture perfect. If you can, add in a social physical activity like skiing, tennis, golf, or hiking that you can do with your family or other ladies, and always learn social dance. Oh, here, I love a good waltz. Set morning and evening routines. A structured morning routine that includes dressing and beauty from top to toe, and a moment of reflection and planning is important for your mental health. In the evening, unwind with a beauty bath, a quiet cup of tea, and reading to care for both your body and mind. Personal fulfillment through homemaking. Homemaking can be a deeply creative and satisfying outlet. Try tying tasks to self-expression, like designing seasonal decoration, experimenting with flower arrangements, or sewing unique home accents. Learning vintage domestic arts such as embroidery, canning, or baking heirloom recipes adds beauty and depth to your routine. And can I say, I love these suggestions, and it doesn't have to be really expensive or break the bank. I got a little miniature embroidering ring from the Dollar Tree, $1.25, because I think the movement, just that, I find when I'm sewing, like darning socks, for example, or sewing a hole in my husband's t-shirt, it's very relaxing for me. So I think that I'm going to pursue this embroidery or some kind of needling work, just to, it's both creative but also very soothing for my mind. So yeah, I love that. Now Emily goes on to give suggestions on how to create a vintage housewife goals tracker. So setting goals is one thing, keeping track of them is another. Emily prefers pen and paper to digital tools, but any well thought out tracker can be your secret weapon for success. She also uses a notebook, printable binder, or bullet journal. Also, Emily has wonderful printouts. She has freebies as well on her website, which is listed below. So definitely, if you're looking for a well done, well designed, and very easy type of planner, tracker, or pages to follow to start your new year with, I would definitely suggest looking into hers. Now, I myself, RM, I have utilized the Notes app on my iPhone since last January, and I love that I can access it from my laptop and make several changes during the day. So if I'm editing a video, for example, and boop, something pops in my head, when I used to be the post-it queen and have post-its all over the place, I'm sure many can identify, and it just became so messy. I love that I have my iCloud tab open and click. I just go and start a new note, or I just put as a reminder, put this in tomorrow's to-do list, and whatever that notation is, I could just, because I type really fast, and it could just like be done really in a few seconds. And I love my notes app. And I might add that I do also journal. So I do love journaling because I noticed that a few years back, my handwriting became awful. And I realized it was because I was just constantly using digital means of, documentation. So I was like, wait a minute, I need to start writing again. So I do journal. I do have a to-do list. My husband calls it the honey-do list on the refrigerator. So I do handwrite those things. So getting back, staying motivated to achieve your vintage housewife goals. Staying motivated is about finding joy in the process and giving yourself grace when things don't go perfectly. Start with one area like homemaking or cooking and add more goals over time. I joined an online homemakers group where we share our weekly goals and now yearly goals, recipes, tips and tricks, and general encouragement for one another. And it's really helpful, and I love the community. Build routines that feel joyful, not overwhelming. Your routine should serve you, not stress you. I agree. Incorporate small touches that bring happiness to your day, like playing your favorite music while cleaning or lighting candles at the dinner table. A joyful mindset makes even busiest days more manageable. I love to listen to podcasts while cleaning. And also I just really pick cleaning products that I love the smell of. Like I love the Method cleaner. It's I believe it's plant-based, and it's just very pleasurable. I love the peppermint sage cleaners at the Dollar Tree. I love just when I know something's going to smell good. I'm a nose person. I have a nose like a hound dog. So when I even know that I'm about to use that product, I get a little peppy, like I get a little pep in my step, and I get kind of joyful, like I get to smell that. So yeah. Listening to the podcasts while it's cleaning, it feels like multitasking because I'm learning something and I'm actually being productive. So that feels good to me. Emily continues by saying to set realistic, achievable goals. Start small and build as you go. Focus on 1 or 2 areas at a time, like establishing a morning cleaning routine or planning weekly meals, and let your success in those areas inspire you to tackle more. So one thing that I did start incorporating last year was a scheduled cleaning for the bathrooms. So my cleaning schedule is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it's like clockwork. Like as soon as I'm done with my shower on those days, like I sprinkle in the comment to let it sit, and that lets me know, and I can smell it when I come in the bathroom, so I let it sit, and it's just like, okay, it's time to, I start there and then work my way around to clean the rest of the bathrooms. And so I love having that as an autopilot now in my head. It feels good, and it's just now a part of my life. And so I keep my bathrooms clean on that schedule. And then, going on. Celebrate small wins and progress. Acknowledge your efforts even when they seem minor. Do you stick to your cleaning schedule for a week? Finally, perfect that pie crust. Celebrate those moments as proof you're moving in the right direction. I did get a compliment over the holidays that my keto pumpkin pie tasted like full sugar store-bought. And I made the crust from scratch with almond flour. So that was a big compliment. And it made me feel like, wow, we eat more ketogenic, our diet. So any vintage recipes that I have to transpose them to fit our, glucose dietary means. And it just felt good to know that, wow, it still tasted old-fashioned, yet it was for a modern dietary necessity. So that felt good. Find inspiration in vintage role models. Look to mid-century homemakers like Emily, I might say, old-fashioned homemaking books or vintage magazines for ideas and encouragement. See how others embrace their roles for grace and creativity can spark fresh motivation to your journey. So I love, again, Emily. This is the author of the article that I am reviewing here. And also there are content creators like Serena and With Love Christina. And I just love, I love this part of the homemaking history of women. I just love the way women were elegant and graceful, doing the best that they can with the means that they had to provide the very best for their families, whatever that looked like. So I love that in the modern era we have these vintage online role models to look at. And I will continue reviewing them, and let me know in the comments if there are vintage homemakers that you are aware of that you'd like me to review, or you want to mention. And so that's that. Reclaim the idea of service as a virtue. Approach homemaking as an act of love and generosity. Find meaning in everyday tasks like baking bread or ironing clothes as contributions to your family's happiness. I love to serve my husband his plate. I know that there's some controversy. I'll say it in the British pronunciation. There's controversy about serving your husband's plate, but that's how I just am. I don't know if it came from when I used to wait tables way back when, but when I prepare food for you, I want to serve it to you. And our daughter was home over the holidays, and that's just how I do. I like to serve people their plate, so judge away. That's, I guess, what the kids call love language. So, yeah, I look at all of my homemaking as service to my family, and I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. So we'll wrap up with Emily saying that we should embrace the slower pace of vintage living. Simple activities like hanging laundry to dry or cooking from scratch, bringing mindfulness and satisfaction to daily life. I have this feeling of real love, and I guess they say hashtag slow living when I'm doing the laundry and I'm folding my husband's clothes, or making the bed up when my daughter comes to stay for the holidays, making her room up and things like that. I love that. And I feel in the moments that I'm smoothing over the sheet or folding clothes, I feel a real connectiveness and a mindfulness of that love for my family when I'm doing those things and cooking, etc. You might hear it in my voice, by the way, that I do have a bit of a frog in my throat. We're fighting the New Year's bugs going around, so I made my husband chicken noodle soup earlier. He's fighting a cold as well, and I just love loving on my family. So, yeah, romanticize your daily life. After all, why should trad wives have all the fun? Emily asked. Timeless homemaking values such as respect, creativity, and discipline can seamlessly align with modern family life. Take the first step, to a beautifully organized, vintage-inspired life today. Well, friends, like I said, I did not go through the entire article. There are more gems in there regarding child rearing and others, so feel free to click on the link below. This was a great New Year's article written by Emily, the Mid-Century Modern Mommy, and she is one of my favorite vintage modern homemakers that I follow, and I just wanted to review this article. I love all the points in it. Of course, there are things that you can tweak to your reality in your home. Cooking from scratch 5 times a week, for example, maybe I wouldn't be doing from scratch. My husband happens to love his canned vegetables. If you try to take them away from him, you might draw back a nub, just saying. So I do some things canned, some things from scratch. So that's just the dynamic in our home and kitchen. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this article thus far. And if you read the whole thing, also leave a comment below and let me know what you took from it. And even still better, what tips and tricks do you have for the new year that you can lend to us? We're a small community over here, and we love learning. I love, learning from you all and vice versa. So please let us know what you have on deck for New Year's. And if you even subscribe to this vintage stuff, like some people don't, and do you find value in it? And if you don't, what do you prefer to do? All comments are welcomed. All comments that are mindful and respectful, that is. So happy New Year to all of you friends. Thanks again for taking a listen and giving me grace with my voice. It will be back. I'm using my mom's recipe of hot salted water and garlic in the water and ginger, so I should be back in tip-top shape in the next video. So thanks again, happy New Year's, and see you in the next one. Toodles!